welcome to British summertime. Clocks went back at the weekend, so officially British summertime, and feels a little bit like spring. So, in fact, it's a bit cloudier now than it was when I set off, but it's warm. In fact, I might stop in a minute and take this this jacket off. So, where am I? I'm in Wales, and I'm heading out on a walk. Not the biggest walk, not the highest mountain, so this is where I'll run into pronunciation problems. Crimpiau. Be interested in the feedback on that one. So, parked up in a secret car park in Capel, and I'm heading up Crimpiau. It's only about 900 feet. So, not massive mountain, but it does give, sorry I'm not looking at you, but the bit uneven going, it does give spectacular views down towards Snowdon, down the valley, Horseshoe, and then also, can't see it now because I'm not on the mountain, down the Ogwen valley towards Trevan. So what I'm hoping is when I go up there, get some great, already, pretty special view. But when I've got some height, hopefully get some nice images. There's still a bit of snow, last bit of snow maybe, on some of the higher peaks. I'm actually glad it's gone a bit cloudy. Ooh, nice bridge here, because clear blue skies are boring, but there's nice fluffy clouds, so hopefully it doesn't build too much. But I'm looking forward to getting some shots, so I'm heading up that way. Just come across this bridge, and I've got to go left. So stick with me, and we'll see how we get on. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to the big reveal of seeing down the Ogwen Valley, because I can already see kind of Snowdon Horseshoe looking that way. But looking to get some height and then look down the Ogwen Valley, so be a nice kind of nice reveal of what the view's like. So off we go. Made it to the summit of Crimpiau. It's quite a pleasant walk actually. You came up through some nice woods, along a river, relatively straightforward. The last bit up, I don't know if I can, the last bit up is quite steep, but not terrible. But you then greeted, sorry about the wind by the way, but you then greeted it with this. Hopefully the sun, a bit of dust on the lens, sorry, hopefully the sun's not blinding you. It's pretty special, isn't it? So this, I think I'm about, I could probably check actually, couldn't I? I think I'm about 900 feet. So I'll check on my app, and let's have a look. We're looking down, Horseshoe, Capel is down here, Snowdon Horseshoe, and then Trevan and Penir Ogwen and Canon EF and so on and so forth, right down to Llyn, and just the view into the valley is great. But yeah, so I'm at, that can't be right. It says I'm at 1400 feet, but I don't think I am. But maybe. But the point I was going to make is, when I was at top of L USM, which is hidden behind the back of Trevan, I was double this height, maybe even 3 times this height. But it goes to show you don't have to be on the highest mountain to get good views. So you can see blue sky, but you might also, so on the way up, sorry, I'll turn you around so I've got the challenge of either I've got the wind blowing on the microphone or I've got the sun shining in your face. So I'll try and block the sun out with my shadow. So on the way up, I was down to just 2 layers, a t-shirt and then a light top, because it was in the valley and protected from the wind, and it's lovely. But now I'm on the top. I've gone back to 4 layers because the wind is blowing. It's not freezing, but just when you've put in a bit of effort, always remember when you get to the top of somewhere, even if you don't feel cold, put an extra couple of layers on because it'll stop you getting cold. So what I'm waiting for now, you can see there's some kind of decent cloud, which adds to the kind of sky scene. So I'm waiting for some of that cloud to come and just hopefully block out the sun a bit, so we get some light shining down into the valley. There's nice kind of speckled light in the valley at the moment, and I quite like this foreground here. So there's these mounds covered in brown heather, but then the lower mounds are kind of greeny yellow. That adds some kind of nice foreground. So I'm going to try and take something in that direction, but one the sun is a little bit behind the clouds. But Mol Shabod's looking good today. Actually, when I came up, so I came up from the Llanrwst direction, and I saw Mol Shabod with the sun shining on the back, and I thought, oh, I could go up Mol Shabod, but I can't. Not because I can't go up, but it's always I always leave my route at home with the family. So my wife's got a copy of my route at home. So if I don't get in touch with her when I said I would, she knows where I am. She won't panic, but if I don't turn up, she'll know where I am. Whereas if I went to Mol Shabod, she might send mountain rescue here, and I'm over there. So it's just a safety thing. So try not to change the route too much. So I got my camera set up, but I'm thinking of moving along here a bit, just to get that foreground in and to shoot that way. What do you think? This is quite nice. I quite like the summit, but it might be the summit would probably be more interesting from over there looking this way, but I'm not going to do that yet. So anyway, wait for a bit of cloud, and then we'll be motoring. I drunk all my soup as well. Oh no, I've got a cup left. Oh, my last cup of soup. Cheers. Still waiting for the cloud to do its thing. There's plenty of kind of nice white fluffy cloud around, but it's just not going in front of the sun at the moment. But hopefully it's only a matter of time. But I've got a composition I'm quite happy with. So it's to take in the Snowdon, Horseshoe plus Trevan, but I've got a bit of balance. So I've got Climumba at one side, and then I mentioned earlier kind of this nice pattern here at the other side. It's going to be quite hard for me to show you on the back of the camera. I'll try my best, but I'll brighten it. You've probably just got loads and loads of reflection, but the lake's on one side and the pattern grounds on the other. I think it balances nicely. So I'm going for, just get my shot like that, hopefully. But I'm just waiting for. I think that shot I've just taken there might be just too much contrast between because I'm looking directly at the sun. So there might be a bit too much contrast. But so I'm waiting for a bit of cloud to help me out. And if I get that, I'll take that image again. Just a tip: when you're shooting towards the sun, make sure your lens is as clean as possible, because it is really unforgiving in terms of dust and any grime on the lens. So I'll try and make sure you're not just looking directly at the sun. So make sure you clean your lens, any filters. I've got a 3-stop filter in, so I've given that a good clean as well, just to try and make sure there's no dust, because it will pick up, and you can usually get rid of the dust spots in Lightroom, but you also get those lens flare as well sometimes, and they're harder to get rid of, so just keep it clean. Right, come on clouds. Oh, so getting a bit of the effect now. I've got some of the striations of light coming into the valley, but I need a bit more of that. I need a bit more of the cloud, but the wind's blowing strong enough to blow it up. A big chunk of cloud there, so keep my fingers crossed that cloud comes across, because then it'll be doing what I wanted to do, kind of those shafts of light. But I might put my gloves on, it's going a bit chilly. Well, the clouds arrived. There's a big chunk of cloud turned up, and it's kind of doing what I wanted it to do. So it's obscuring the sun, obviously, but now there's some light shining down into the Ogwen Valley, And you might be able to, well, here's a perfect example. You've got a lovely contrast of bright sunlight and shadow, and in fact falling down on Llyn Craftnant as well. So just hoping we get a little bit of that beam of light. It's quite subtle at the moment, so I really want kind of a strong beam of light. And the way I'd deal with it is to underexpose. So I've got a composition. I'll brighten that so you can see. So here's Trevan and Penny Olwen looking down the Ogwen Valley. But I'm going to underexpose quite considerably just to pick up these, hopefully when they arrive, beams of light. So I'll take one there, but I don't think it's going to be anything. Hopefully the beam of light's arrived, because the sun's now just coming up from behind the cloud, which is a bit of an annoyance. But hopefully what's happening is it'll beam, you know, it's beaming out here, it's beaming out there, so hopefully I'll get a beam down in the head of the valley, and if not, I'll cry. but so the sun's shining on me now. It's not shining in the valley, but I think it might be developing, so going to keep working on it. But the reason I'm underexposing is because I want to show the light. I don't really want to show the detail in the mountain or anything. I just want to pick out those bits of the valley that are highlighted in light. It's lovely down there at the moment. There's a bit of water just down there and the sun's shining and reflecting. But when the sun went behind the cloud, it went really, really cold. So I've been huddled behind that boulder for a little bit just out of the sun. So it's kind of the effect on Mole Shabod, kind of, but I'd rather it be smaller beams of light. I'm going to take one now actually, because I think that might work out. So just taking a kind of an insurance shot. But hang on, what was I underexposing by then? Just tell you, I was underexposing by more or less a full stop. But it's interesting because the cloud is kind of coming and going, the sun is coming and going. So whoa. I'm going to persevere and hopefully get one of those. You only need it to happen once. Boom, light shining in the valley, just depending on the right cloud patterns. Something like that's happening down there on Llyn Craftnant, happening in the valley. Fingers crossed. This is what I was hoping for. Speckled light in the valley. So cloud is broken up enough to a great cloud. Look at that. That's great. But it's got more intense, the light. So since I first got here, the sun's moved quite considerably. It was over there to move there. But the cloud has built up a bit, and it's just now given the valley a lovely kind of dappled feeling. Hopefully it makes sense, which nicely corresponds with the kind of the patterns down here, which you'd think I'd planned that, but I didn't. But right, that's too bright now. So you get a kind of a small window. So as the light was moving along the valley, took some images, lights at the top of the valley, but now it's got here, it's too bright on the foreground and not bright enough in the background. But hopefully as the clouds move, get some more light up at that end of the valley. But I've done that about 3 times now, haven't I? But hopefully that gives you an idea of what I was trying to get. If it was just a clear sky with no clouds, the sky would be boring, and it'd just be all kind of uniformly lit, which, you know, if the sun was low might be quite nice, but at this time of day would be boring. So it's nice to have that bit of cloud, and the light coming and going. Hopefully that all makes sense. And I'm going to persevere. I'm looking towards the Snowdon Horseshoe over there. It looks fantastic. just as a silhouette. If I was over on Malshabod, that would be fantastic. Maybe next time. I've come down off the summit. Conditions were quite good, and hopefully I got a couple of decent images, but there's only so long you can stay in the same place taking the same images over and over again. So I'm coming down a different way, so I've done a circular, kind of went around the back of Crimpiau and then come down the front towards Capel, but there's this little lake that I thought I'd stop at and see if I can get anything. If I don't sink, it is incredibly boggy. What was frozen, it's funny on the walk up as well, what was frozen up until a couple of weeks ago is now all kind of melted. So everything's boggy, but it's particularly boggy here. And don't step backwards because that looks quite deep. But trying to make use of this, see this kind of, I don't know, that's an inlet or an outlet, I don't know if it's flowing in or flowing out. So I've got a composition here, and I'm working on having the inlet flowing in from the right to show the hills. So that's actually the summit of Crimpiau is just over there a little bit, so you can't actually see the summit, but hopefully that turns into something reasonable. It's a nice bit of cloud, nice bit of evening sun, but what I'm actually heading for, I'm heading over there to see and have a look down towards the Snowdon Horseshoe. But I thought while I was passing I'd stop and take a couple of images. I might have to swim out. It's really, I don't think I'm stood on land actually. I think I'm just on a kind of floating kind of grass thing, but might work out. And the path's over there, so I didn't have to come very far. I've come away from the lake and I'm just on a little bit of a rocky outcrop, so the summit is up there. So I was up there previously and I've worked my way down, and I'm now just looking down the valley across Llyn Mumber to Snowdon Horseshoe. The sun is still, in fact the sun is probably blinding you. So sun is still quite bright and the clouds have cleared over more or less. So to try and kind of minimise hassle with the sun, I've zoomed in as far as I can onto Snowdon. So I'll show you the setup. So there we go. That's zoomed in as far as it'll go. And I've got the lake down here, and then obviously Snowdon. So there's still a lot of brightness coming in the corner there, but it's kind of a silhouette with just the lake. It's nice that there's a cloud up there to balance the lake. That's just good luck that happened to be there. But shooting directly towards the sun at this time at night, because it's quite low, is a real issue. So I've zoomed in to cut the sun out, so the sun's not in my frame, and we'll see what happens with the Snowdon Horseshoe. But it's turned out to be a lovely day. It's a little bit chilly, but I'm not freezing cold, so hopefully that'll turn out. So I kind of like the idea of the lake and the cloud balancing each other, but we'll see when I process it. So what I think I'll do now is, I've got to work my way down, is pack up my stuff and head down, because what you find in the mountains, once the sun goes down behind the mountain, you very rarely get kind of spectacular sunsets, because obviously the sun, not the sort that you get near the coast where you get the cloud and the sun. You occasionally get it, but not very often. So once the sun's down, that's it. So I'm going to work my way down through the bog. See you soon. Well, working my way down, and boy is it boggy. Look, just pants are soaked. Just like every bit of snow and ice has melted and created a bog. But I thought I'd say a last couple of kind of words before I close, just with Snowdon in the background as the sun's gone down. There's a little robin singing there. So hope you enjoyed the trip. up Crimpiau. I hope I'm getting that right. I really do hope I'm getting that right. I work hard at the Welsh pronunciation, so Crimpiau. But my car's parked just down there, and there's a it's a heck of a steep slope down. So hope you enjoyed it. Hope it gave you a flavour of getting up some of the hills. Listen to the robin. Hope it gave you a flavour of getting up some of the hills in Snowdon, which aren't the biggest, but give you some good views. So I enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed it. And just a final word of warning. It's starting to feel like shorts weather. So the legs might make an appearance soon. So thanks for watching. Look forward to your comments, and I'll see you again soon. Cheers. Bye.